Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff, and this is the Promised Neverland Episode 1 review. With me, as always, is Coby. What's up, Coby?
Hey, nice to be here. I was wondering if I was going to get like a cool intro, but I realized I haven't gotten a cool intro for a bit, so I don't know why I was expecting it. But I'm Coby.
Those cool intros are reserved only for Anime Ricochet,
which you all should check out.
It's a podcast with sports animes with two dudes who know nothing about sports. That's us. Anyways, The Promised Neverland. What do you know about this show?
I know that it's a popular manga. It was a highly anticipated one of the season. It has a really good story behind it, and it kind of was really popular in the magazine of which it aired. It's supposed to be a psychological kind of wits battle, and with a bit of a darker edge to it, involving children. Do you know anything about it that I failed to mention?
Nope. I think I only know what you told me. I think you were the one that picked out this promising anime. But it piqued my interest, and this first episode definitely piqued my interest even more. So why don't we just start discussing it, eh?
Let's do it.
So the anime begins with three children who are presumably the main characters. Their names are Emma, Norman, and Ray, and they are looking through what appears to be a gate in like this of a building, some kind of structure, and they're wondering what's on the other side of this gate. And it is established that they are not allowed on the other side of this gate. And Ray is kind of like he's kind of the emo character, it seems. He's very edgy looking for his age.
Yeah.
But anyways, he thinks that there is actually nothing beyond the gate that's dangerous, that's keeping them from going anywhere past it. And, they kind of discuss what they would do if they went to the outside world. And it's kind of sets the groundwork that these kids are basically trapped wherever they are. And we learn a little bit more about that.
And that's what I think is cool about this opening scene, and basically this whole episode as a whole, is that the first episode of any anime and any show really is like a place-setting episode. I mean, like, you have to set up your stakes, your world, your characters, and this first scene in this first episode really does that pretty well. It's presented with three very different characters, and you can tell who are our main characters, and you get the threat and the mystery that we're going to be exploring all of it, all within like 30 seconds to like a minute before the opening song. I mean, like, after this point, you're like, I get it. Let's go,
Yep, that's exactly right. Very, very concise conveying of information, for which I am grateful. And it jumps right into the opening. Now, Coby, what do you think of this opening?
I dug it, actually. I mean, I thought it was cool. I like both the visuals and the song to it. And I'm normally not one who like really likes visuals as much as the song, but the visuals stood out to me.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely it's potentially a play every time out of 10. It's like
every time out of 10.
Yeah,
the ranking system.
The music is very good. It's kind of got like this kind of funky, jazzy beat to it, and I really like that.
I know you like a good funky, jazzy beat.
Yeah. So after the opening, we get a little bit more info on what's going on in this world. These kids all wake up, with Emma being the first one to wake up, and she seems to be kind of the leader of the crew. She's telling everyone to wake up, or else they're gonna miss their breakfast because it's breakfast time. And their boarding situation, as such, is like all their beds are next to each other. Basically, they're in an orphanage, and everyone's working together, getting the youngins all dressed up, and everyone's marching off to the breakfast room. And you kind of get to see the personalities of our main characters as well as some other characters. We meet Dawn and Connie, and these two have a pretty strong connection to each other. We know that, as I mentioned earlier, Emma's kind of the leader type, and she
looks like female Hinata from Haikyuu.
Hinata's little sister.
Yeah. And she's very outgoing, and she's like the leader, and she's nice.
Yeah, very kind. And she is everyone in this, well, not everyone, but the three main characters are all 11, but they mention that Emma is like a 5-year-old. It's like, you're so childish, you little 11-year-old. And we also meet the character Mama, who we presume is the one who's running this little operation, this orphanage. And she has creepy purple eyes, but she seems very nice. Everyone loves her. She
cares for them.
Definitely does. I don't think she's a bad person at all.
No, she wants everyone to do, to eat and do their chores, and it's not weird that all these children have numbers branded on their necks or anything like that.
And we see a short little ominous scene where Connie's being fed by the mama, and then we cut over to a calendar, and on the date that is marked today, I think you have Connie's name written on it or something, and the date is circled. So it's a big day for Connie. We don't know what or why, but yeah, it's the way they cut the scene.
We should be excited for her.
The way they cut it and direct it, and like the kind of slightly ominous undertones of sound, kind of point that this is a bit of foreshadowing. This is not what it seems. This is not a happy orphanage.
It's not a happy, and I'm surprised at that because it looks like such a happy place. All the kids are so happy,
Yeah, I mean, what orphanage doesn't have numbers branded on their kids' necks? That's just a good way to keep track of them,
Yeah.
And then it cuts kind of a harsh cut over to what appears to be they're in class. All the kids are in class, and they're taking like this weird test, like
it's like a barcode test.
Yeah, they have like this weird pen that scans over these barcodes. I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's explained further in the manga as to what exactly they're doing, but the point of this scene is to highlight that our three main characters are top of the class. They all get the right answers, all three of them. And
man, I thought tests were hard to begin with, but like this one's timed. You have to get them right like in 9 seconds. Like, come on, man. I need at least time to think out my math problem.
And I don't even know what they're doing. Who knows if it's math?
There's weird boxes in there. You just scan the right one. I don't know, man.
They're being trained as like warehouse workers or something. But yeah, so Emma, Norman, and Ray are all top of the class, and it has to be explained out loud. Norman, he's got a big ass brain, and Ray, he's got an intellect that matches Norman's brain, and Emma, she's athletic and cool, so she gets to spend a lot of time with Norman and Ray, and that makes her smart too.
Yeah, that was a weird explanation for why she's smart, because she's not smart on her own. She's just around the smart people enough to be like photosynthesize all the intelligence onto them.
Yeah, and I just love that the little exposition bits like that. It's like in real life, if someone said that, you'd look at it and be like, what? Why are you saying this? We all know this.
Yeah.
Where's the camera?
My thing is, I really don't know the difference between Ray and Norman. Like Norman's, I guess, are they both exactly the same? But I don't know if in Japan, like intellect and smart mean different things. Like because they're both presented as the same thing, but they sound very similar, but with just different personalities.
Well, later on in the show, it's explained that Norman is a strategist and Ray is a better tactician than he is. So
that's like the same thing.
Well, no, because so strategy is kind of like your overarching plan, right? Like, and then a tactic is like a plan within that overarching plan. You know what I mean? It's like the smaller final details to accomplish your overarching goal. So it's like, I guess Norman is kind of like big picture, and then Ray's kind of like little picture. And I guess another way to put it is maybe Norman is more book smart and Ray is more street smart. I don't know. I just also based off like, the way they're animated and their personalities, I think Ray is probably the more cynical type. Yeah. And Norman is probably the more trusting. So they're both
Emma's
smart.
athletic.
And Emma's the athletic one. Yeah. So yes, we've established that they're all smart, and Norman is so damn smart that the kid Don that we met briefly earlier is like, Norman, I challenge you to a game of tag. And Norman's like, all right. And then Don's like, all right, everyone versus you, go. And what follows is a scene of tag, and
where he hunts them down mercilessly in the forest.
Exactly. Norman is trying to catch everyone else, and he's very sly about it. He sneaks up on them. He uses traps and simple tricks to capture them all. We see a little bit of Dawn and Connie's relationship. A little bit more. We see them together, and Dawn is basically helping Connie out, helping her out by hiding in the bushes or something like that.
Sure.
And then Norman catches everyone, and everyone's like, Norman's so smart. Look at him catching all these kids. And then what follows is the conversation that we explained earlier, where Norman and Ray are highlighted to be the types of intellect that they are. Ray's a tactician, Norman's a strategist. And then Emma's, the athletic one.
Athletic.
And then they do another game of tag. This time, everyone has to find Norman, and off they go. and Emma is walking in the forest, and some sound, I don't know what it is exactly, draws her to some shady part of the forest where she finds a low fence, and near the fence is also Norman. And in this moment, they kind of, I guess, simultaneously stop playing tag because they're so entranced with this low fence and what could be the other side.
By baby gate. There's a gate and there's a baby gate.
Yeah, it's like half their size, and these are like 11-year-olds, so they're already very small.
Yeah.
And then Ray pops out of nowhere too, and is like, "Yeah, I don't think this is a real thing. I don't think anything's hunting us down on the other side or anything like that, because the gate is really low, and I don't see anything dangerous." And Emma and they're all just kind of, and all the other kids start coming in, and they all start wondering what's on the other side of the gate.
Are we still playing? Is the game over already? What is this? Where are we? And this was the scene that was, I don't know if it's just because of the dub or I mean of the sub, but it was like really oddly cut. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
like, it was really quick flashes of people. Like as soon as one person started talking, it would cut to like that group shot overhead, and then cut to one person talking, and then group shot overhead like almost immediately. I don't know if that was like intentionally jarring or.
I totally noticed that as well. I'm gonna lean towards it being intentional. I think usually those kinds of cuts are meant to make you feel uneasy. So, and what they're discussing at this moment when all the kids are near the fence is they're discussing what they would do once they get outside. And it's revealed that basically like when they're 12 or before they're 12, they all get sent off to a foster home. And then they all start wondering, well, hey, all these kids that went to these foster homes, they never write us back. What's up with that? We're like brothers and sisters.
Bunch of dicks.
Yeah, and they're like, oh no, they're probably just really happy with their new homes. They're having so much fun that they don't write us at all.
In a land of milk and honey.
Yeah, and they all talk about what they would do outside once they get on the outside,
Yeah, and, once they get out of here.
And I guess that those weird cuts are supposed to make you feel a bit uneasy, like, oh, maybe these kids are never getting out of here. I don't know.
Why? It's a perfectly normal orphanage with branded names on their necks, and they take tests to determine who's the smartest.
With a low-hanging
Nothing
fence.
is wrong with this place.
Yes, and a mysterious gate you can't get past. Now the next scene is Connie, and what happens to Connie is that we see Mama looking at a drawing that presumably Connie drew for her, and she smiles and is like, what a nice drawing, and this is her day. Is Connie's day to be sent off to the foster home. So, that Mama takes her by the hand and walks her out the door. And it's a bit of an unceremonious goodbye, but, everyone's there to see her off. And Connie starts crying because she suddenly realizes she doesn't want to leave because she's leaving behind her family. But nonetheless, she gets taken away. And Emma notices that she leaves behind this little stuffed animal that she has with her the whole time, and then she's like, oh shit, she forgot it. We gotta go find her and give it to her before she goes. So it is up to Emma and Norman to go off and deliver the stuffed animal to Connie. And wouldn't you know it, they find that they have been led to the gate that they're not supposed to go through, but it is left open. And they think
it's a baby gate. They're just like, we won't get in trouble.
Yeah, Norman's like, we'll get scolded later on. So they go inside, and it's a bit ominous and dark. There's lots of dripping water from the pipes overhead, and there's a truck, and they're kind of looking around, seeing inside the truck. And Emma looks to the back of the truck, and Norman looks to the back of the truck, and they are both aghast. And this is all very much a tense scene building up to the reveal, which is Connie's lifeless corpse with what appears to be a rose sprouting out from her stomach.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, I get that she was dead. I was like, oh yeah, she's definitely dead in there. But then the flower sprouted out of it. That's interesting.
Yes, creepy but intriguing. What is the rose about? Well, I don't know. And that's not all, because suddenly you hear voices coming from a set of double doors, and they sound like older men. And then the kids are, of course, scared because they just saw a dead body, so they go and hide it on the outside of the truck and eventually hide on the bottom. And the voices are revealed to belong to what appear to be demons, creepy demon creatures.
I guess like mutated ravens. That's what I saw them as.
Yeah, just like these big hulking, shadowy figures with weird faces. Like some of them have multiple eyes, some have weird limbs and stuff. And they're just really these grotesque looking creatures. And they're discussing, the business essentially. They're talking about how oh yeah, child meat is the best. And then the other one's like, oh man, I wish I could have a finger. And he's like, nah, this is for the rich folk. We gotta, preserve it. And then they toss her body into like a vat of water to be preserved, I guess, for whatever meal she'll be prepared for.
It was really nice of them to like lay out the plan
exactly
of like the world to each other.
Mm-hmm. And what their intentions are and all that.
Yeah.
I guess they just they do it so they don't forget,
Yeah.
what it all means.
It's hard being a raven hybrid demon creature.
That feasts on children.
Yeah.
And another figure of the same type is going through a clipboard, and is like, yes, we are expecting 3 high-quality children meet in just a bit. Mama, you better focus on getting these to us quickly. And Mama appears in the shadows, and she's got a mean face. She's not the same as she was before. She doesn't look as kind or as understanding. And the numbers that the creepy guy's pointing out are, I'm fairly certain, the same numbers that Emma, Norman, and Ray have. So they're next on the list.
Because they said the 3 of the ones who are like the top in the class, they're ready.
Yeah.
Because I guess this implies that if you're really smart, then you taste better.
Or athletic.
Or athletic, you also taste better. So that's good. I mean, that makes sense. I guess if you're more athletic, you're more fit. But if you just have a big brain, like I wouldn't want to eat Ray. Ray doesn't look good.
Yeah, he looks dirty. He looks like he doesn't shower.
Yeah, Norman, on the other hand, I bet he's a fine piece of meat.
All right, we should stop there. FBI coming to your door right now.
Dang it.
And yeah, Emma and Norman managed to escape this nightmarish scene, and their tears are streaming from their eyes at what they saw. They saw dead Connie. They saw weird demons. They saw a version of Mama that's all fucked up and mean looking.
And they learned their life is a lie.
Yeah, they learned that essentially what they're on is a farm. That this is a farm for children meat. And they burst inside, and Ray's like, what's up, guys? How'd it go? And Norman's like, nothing. We didn't find them. And then they go off on their own. They start crying and stuff. And
Ray's like, something's amiss.
Yes. And then Emma and Norman are discussing escaping because they don't want to get eaten. But Emma doesn't want to escape because she doesn't want the rest of her friends / family to be eaten.
Yeah, Norman's like, let's get the hell out of here. And like Emma's like, what about everybody else? She's like, dang it, you're right.
So at the first, Norman's like, hey, we'll escape. And then Emma's like, no, I don't want to leave my friends alone. And then Norman's like, we'll all escape. And thus sets up the rest of the show. And as their hopes are aligned and they're hoping to escape, we have this hard cut to the face of Mama, and she's looking at the stuffed animal that they left behind under the truck, actually, the one that they were going to deliver to Connie. And she's got like this evil looking face, like, oh, those kids.
Like she knows. She knows. They know now.
So that is the show. What do you think, Coby? What do you think of all this?
I liked how this first episode, there wasn't a mystery behind it. Like we weren't going to get a drawn out response like, oh, what's beyond the gate? What's beyond the gate? And then, in episode 7 or 8, you find out that they're in a farm, that harvest their meat. Because like the answer is less interesting. But now what we have is like, now they know the answer right away. So now it's going to be like a wits battle between everyone who knows that, that what the situation is in and just trying to escape. And I think that is by far a more interesting show than them trying to discover where they are and, the circumstances they're in.
Yeah, most definitely. I really, really don't like shows that have this mystery hanging on the end of the string constantly dangled in front of you. Like, what does this mean? I got to keep watching to find out. 2 things come to mind. I think like Westworld was kind of like that. I kind of stopped watching Westworld because of that.
Oh, yeah.
And the other, I actually saw an anime that was like that recently. I don't even remember what it was called. I think it was like, I don't remember. It was like something about a giant cube and aliens. I don't know. But it was like that too, where at first, like, the mystery can be interesting, but you're right. It's like really, I don't like it when they tickle your balls too much. You know what I mean? I don't want to be tickled that much. I just want to be tickled a little, and then give me the real answer. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they did.
That's what I get you, because either way, you either guess the mystery early on, and then it's kind of a waste to it's like when the reveal comes, you're like, I knew it, so like why waste all the time? Or your expectations are so high when it's actually revealed, you're disappointed. It's much better to have all your characters on the same page and them trying to figure out the situation to get out. I mean, that's that's fantastic. I mean, that's why I love Death Note and even like stuff like that, because like the two characters who knew each other was it what it is, and them trying to outwit each other. I mean, that was far more interesting than watching Light try to like, or L trying to like, not sure if Light is all the evil person. I forgot the name in it. If they were just evil, Death Note is good. This is also good, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I didn't know that this was gonna be like a Battle of Wits kind of anime until you mentioned it. And now that you've mentioned that, I'm very glad that it is, because I actually wasn't sure what kind of genre of anime this was gonna be. If it was gonna be straight up horror, if it was just gonna be like escape the room kind of deal. But Wits Battle, that's awesome. And I'm glad you mentioned Death Note, because that's one of my favorite animes of all time. And I think there's, at least from what I haven't seen anything like Death Note, like that kind of battle of wits,
between two both smart characters.
Yeah, true geniuses. And I hope that we get some flavor of that in this show. And I was also kind of reluctant about this show, if it was going to be good or not, if I was going to like watching the rest of it, because it's all kids, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch kids the whole time, these dumb kids. But well, they're not going to be dumb kids. They're going to be like genius kids.
And one athletic
kid, yeah. So, I'm interested to see where this goes. Good pick so far.
Good pick so far. We'll see if the second episode is really the deciding factor, because the first episode is the good shock and awe episode. Now, the second episode is what type of show it's going to be. So I guess we'll see in next week.
Totally agree.
Out of the three, who do you like best?
I actually like Ray the best. I know I said he looked like he smelled bad and that he's kind of an emo goth kid. But I like that he just feels more unique. Like he just seems more distinguished from the other cast so far. I mean, Norman's kind of your vanilla good guy, smart guy it seems, and Emma's kind of your vanilla outgoing bubbly chick. And I'm open to how they might change and all that, and I hope they change. But so far I like Ray. What about you?
I think Ray is going to be the one that makes this dynamic great, because it seems like just from this first episode, it really could have just been Emma and Norman like going through this, because they're both they're already involved in the mystery and it's just those two saving it. But adding in someone like Ray, who's kind of like a pessimistic but also really smart, is I think going to elevate this a lot. So I think Ray's going to be the MVP.
Totally. It takes three to tango, as they say.
They
as we say in Harvard.
At Harvard says that?
Mm-hmm. Coby, would you like to sign us off?
Yes, I would. Thank you very much for listening. You've heard this on Nerd Blaze. Like, comment, subscribe. We do a lot of anime reviews. We also we'll be covering Promised Neverland. We do weekly reviews of Young Justice, and then we also have a podcast called Anime Ricochet, where two dudes who know nothing about sports talk about sports anime. So we got a lot of stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.